back. For today's video, I'm going to do a review and swatch Urban Decay's Vice Palette number 3, and let's go ahead and get started. Start off, I am going to prime my arm like I normally would to apply my eyeshadow. Just a little FYI, these are all brand new 20 shades in Urban Decay's collection. The left side, they did add some neutral shades. The middle section contains jewel tones, and the right hand side of the palette contains some smoky shades. I am going to go ahead and start swatching, starting on the left hand side. Now all of the swatches are going to be with brushes, so I am going to try to swatch as many possible with brushes. First shade is Truth, and it is a matte nude pink shade. As you can see, this shade will make a perfect brow bone highlighting shade. It is a little bit dusty, but that's why when I apply my eyeshadows, I like to pat them on to avoid any fallout. And for me, it's not a big problem whatsoever. So this shade is Truth. I'm now flipping my brush and moving on to Undone. This is a satin matte pink beige with subtle reflex. If you dip your brush into this, you're definitely going to see a lot of product just dusting off everywhere, but if you just pat this on gently, there won't be an issue with that. Next is Downfall. And Downfall is a warm brown with very subtle reflex in it, as you can see. This one you do have to dip your brush in it very carefully to avoid any fallout, but it is a gorgeous shade for the transition. The next shade is DTF. DTF is a matte taupey brown shade with some reflex in it, and you can definitely see how beautiful it shines. I love this shade, it's so beautiful. Next shade is Dragon, and I am going to swatch this with the brush. This is a gorgeous green shade, so swatched with the brush with my arm primed. That's the shade with just one swatch. And I'm just patting this on like I normally would on my eyelid. This is a second application, so you can see how the color intensifies. Really gorgeous. This is a very, very beautiful shade. So this is Dragon. The next shade is Freeze. Freeze is a frosty blue eyeshadow shade. It does have some gold undertone reflex to it. As you can see, if you are just patting this on very gently, you will avoid fallout. This is Freeze. You can see how beautiful it just sparkles. Love it. The next shade is Heroine. And Heroine is a dark navy blue eyeshadow shade. It does have some blue reflex in it. Next is Broke Down. Broke Down is a bronzy golden eyeshadow shade. These shades are really, really beautiful. So that's Broke Down, Heroine, Freeze, Dragon, DTF, Downfall, Undone, and Truth. Next is Vanity. It's a dark purple shimmery shade. Next is Lucky. It's a coppery bronze metallic shade. And these two together, oh, they're so gorgeous. Absolutely love it. Just watching them alone, you just get inspired to create looks. So this one is Lucky and Vanity. Next is Rain. This shade is a shimmery taupe brown. Next is Bobby Dazzle. This is a pearl shade, and it does have some gold reflex to it. When I see this shade, all I can think about is placing this at the inner corner. You guys know how I love to apply inner corner shades. That would make a gorgeous shade for the inner corner. It's beautiful. So that one is Bobby Dazzle. Next is Alien, and Alien is a really pretty pink shade with gold reflex underneath it. So kind of has like a little bit of orange undertones to it, but it's just so gorgeous. So that is Alien. Next is Alchemy, and Alchemy is a gorgeous fuchsia shade, and if you take a really good look at it, it almost seems like as if blue reflex to it, very subtle, or some bluish undertone or violet undertone to it. It's just really, really gorgeous. So that is Alchemy. Next is Bondage, and Bondage is a gorgeous shade of burgundy. It does have some subtle red reflex to it. Love it. I used this in my recent tutorial for the crease, and it just looks so beautiful. Such a stunning shade. It's perfect for the fall. Next is Sonic. Gorgeous coppery orange red tone shade. It's beautiful. A lot of the shades in this palette are super pigmented. Some of them are a little bit dusty, and it's mainly the ones that are on the left hand side, so you just have to be very careful with them. But other than that, they are gorgeous shades. Next is Last Sin, champagne color. It does have some gorgeous gold reflex to it. You guys can see how easily you can get inspired by combining just by looking at these shades. So that one is Last Sin. Next is Angel. Angel is a beautiful taupey silver shade. It does have some gorgeous sheen and reflex to it. I love the sparkle on these eyeshadows, and I really hope that my camera is picking this up. Next is Decay. And this shade looks like a satin matte finish. It does have a subtle amount of reflex in it, and it is a grayish taupe shade. Last shade is Revolver. Blackish, kind of bluish shade with some blue reflex undertones to it, and I hope you guys can see it. This is Vice Palette number 1, 2, and the most recent one. As you can see, all stacked together, Vice 3 has definitely a slimmer look to it. At a quick glance, you can tell that they all look very similar in the shades that they chose in each one of these palettes. However, they are all very different. Each one of them is very distinct. There are no two shades alike, and these are just ones that I highly recommend. If you missed out on the first and second edition, I highly recommend to get this Vice palette number 3 because it has the perfect tones for fall, and the shades are just gorgeous. Swatches, this palette is absolutely gorgeous. It really has a nice sleek look to it, and it also did come with a double-ended brush. If you look at this really closely, the first side is perfect to blend out your eyeshadows. I love the brushes that do come with the Vice palette because you can actually use this, so there's no need for dumping them out. This looks more like a detailing crease brush more than a flat shading brush. I'm covering up the mirror with the pouch that this palette came with, that way I don't blind you guys. But a lot of the eyeshadows in here are so gorgeous and very pigmented, as you guys seen. With this palette, I did notice that there are a couple of eyeshadows that you do have to be very careful when you dip your brush to apply these onto your eyelids. For instance, Downfall is very, very powdery as well as Undone, and Broke Down will definitely give you some fallout. So for that reason, you will have to damp your brush to apply this eyeshadow. However, unlike those naked palettes where you only get 12 shades, you get 20 shades in this palette, so it's definitely well worth it. I highly recommend this palette if you are able to get your hands on it. It is limited edition, and I know that these are going to sell out very, very quickly. I wouldn't go anywhere anywhere near eBay because I noticed that there's a lot of sellers that get really greedy, and I know that people need to make money, but selling a palette like this, because it's limited edition, they take advantage of that, knowing that people are going to search for it. And seeing palettes go for up to $200, $500 for the original and vice too, so it's so ridiculous. I mean, I understand if you want to make a profit, but some of it is just absolutely insane. And for today, given that it is officially fall season, I wanted to do something different, and I applied a red lipstick. This red lipstick is from City Color Cosmetics, Be Matte, and the shade is called Lola. I'm not really used to playing around with darker shades, but this one is one that I actually enjoy. It is a matte finish, and what I do love about this lipstick is that it has not transferred over onto my teeth. And right around the 5-minute mark, I am itching to take off a dark lipstick for whatever reason. I have no idea, but because it has a matte finish, I'm not antsy to take it off. So here I am wearing a dark lipstick other than my usual pink or nude shades, and that is pretty much it. Thank you so much for watching this video, and lots of love, big hugs and kisses, and I will see you very soon.